Hi everyone. Happy Friday. You made it to the end of the week. Thank you for joining me tonight for this gentle yoga practice. We are going to begin seated. So you can sit the way I am with your legs crossed. If that's not comfortable for you, you can send your legs forward or sit back on your heels. But just find yourself in a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you tonight. And make sure that you can sit nice and tall, lifting your spine. Allowing your shoulder blades to drop down your back. Bring your hands to rest on your thighs. And we're just going to begin by closing our eyes. And as we sit here, rooting down into the earth, begin to slow down. Without changing anything at all, just begin to bring your attention to your breath. Notice the length of your breath. And as you start to tune into that, you might notice that just naturally your breath begins to change, maybe getting a little longer, a little fuller. And as we sit tall here, can you begin to feel your rib cage expand as you inhale? And as you exhale, everything sinking back down to center, rooting you deeper into your mat. And just a few more breaths without changing anything at all. Starting to settle into our space. Just tune into our internal environment. Noticing where you might be holding on to tension today. Just starting to feel what's happening in your own body. Take one more breath. Then go ahead and blink your eyes open. And we're going to take now a specific type of breath, which is actually a breath to help cool the body. It's super hot here in LA, so I thought this might be a nice way to start, just to kind of cool down our internal temperature. So the way you're going to do this is stick your tongue out. If you're able to, you're going to roll your tongue, so the sides of the tongue will curl up. If that's not possible for you, just let your but the tongue is out of your mouth between your teeth. And as you breathe in, the breath is going to come across your tongue like you were sipping in through a straw. So go ahead and take a breath in. Feel that cool air come across your tongue. And then from here, hold your breath, pull your tongue back into your mouth. Just bring the lips together. Hold. And then through your nose, exhale, let it go. And we'll do that a few more times. So you stick your tongue out, maybe curl the tongue up, and inhale. Feel that cool air rush in. Hold your breath, close your lips. Exhale through your nose, release. Good. 2 more times like that on your own. And 1 more time. Good. And then from here on out, we'll just breathe in and out through your nose. But at any point in your practice, if you're feeling a little overheated and you want to return to that cooling breath, you can always come back to that. So from here, we're going to lay down on our mats. Go ahead and come all the way down onto your back. Step your feet as wide as your mat and then allow your knees to knock together. You could bring your hands on your body, maybe one hand on your low belly, one hand on your heart, or if it's more comfortable, arms beside you with your palms face up. Take a moment here to just reset as you lengthen your spine. And with your knees knocking together here, can you feel a little bit more lengthening through your low back? Sending weight into your sacrum, getting heavy through the whole pelvis and torso. And just settle in for a few deep breaths. You can close your eyes again. And we'll begin to soften the muscles of the face. So consciously bring your awareness between your eyebrows. Notice if you can relax the muscles between the eyebrows. And as you do that, you might start to notice that the rest of the face and even the rest of the body begins to get a little heavier, letting go of tension. Trying to soften here. Just allow yourself to fully rest and relax on your mat. Good. Press the back of your head deeper into the floor. And on your next inhale, go ahead and rock your right ear towards your right shoulder. Just gently rocking your neck over to the side. And feel a gentle stretch through the left side of your neck. All the way down to the left shoulder. On an exhale, press back into the skull, rock your chin back to the ceiling. And on your next inhale, drop your left ear over to the left shoulder. Feel that gentle stretch through the right side of the neck, from your chin all the way down to your shoulder. Can you let go a little bit more through the shoulder blades? Allow your arms to get heavier into the floor. And on your next exhale, bring your chin back through center. From here, go ahead and separate the knees. Heel toe your feet towards each other until the soles of the feet are touching, and let your knees open any amount out to the sides. If it's too much of a hip opener here, you can slide the legs forward so that you're shortening that external rotation of your legs. So set yourself up here, maybe pulling the heels in closer or sending the legs farther away from you. And then reach your arms straight up to the sky. Interlace your fingers and spin your palms up. Press through the heels of your hands and feel your arms get a little longer. Your spine presses down into the floor as your shoulder blades spread across the back. On an inhale, begin to lower your arms over your head, arms come alongside the ears, and without puffing your ribs up, actually see if you can draw the belly down, ribs coming together. On an exhale, lift the arms, keep pressing through the heels of your hands, just up to straight from the shoulders. And then exhale, drop the arms back over your head. So we're just gently moving into some dynamic movement here. Inhale, lift your arms. And exhale, press back. Last time, inhale, lift. And then go ahead and flip your palms back around. Release your fingers. You can wiggle your fingers, circle your wrists. And then resend your arms straight to the sky. Grab onto your left wrist with your right hand and reach up a little higher. Actually, pull your arm up. And then from here, bend your right elbow, draw your left arm across the chest, keep the arm straight. Slide your left shoulder blade down away from your ear, and then feel if you can find that little sense of stretch across the left side of the throat, from your shoulder all the way up, maybe to the left ear. Can you relax through the outside of the arm? Let those muscles release. Inhale, reach back up, and we'll switch sides. Grab onto your right wrist, pull your arm up, and then bend your left elbow, draw your right arm across your chest. Slide your right shoulder blade further down your back. Breathe easily here, relaxing through your belly. See if you can actively think about relaxing through the back of the arm. Inhale, come back up. Let that go. Wiggle your fingers, circle your wrists. And then go ahead and drop your arms down alongside you. Take your hands to the outside of the legs and draw the knees together. Plant your feet firmly on your mat and then just drop your knees side to side, windshield wiper the legs. Coming back through center, you'll lift your right leg up to the sky. Hold on behind your calf. You can take a bend in the knee as you pull your knee into your chest before straightening the leg. And it might not straighten all the way, that's fine. So as much as you're able to, you're going to press into the ball of your foot and get that leg to straighten any amount. And then begin to point and flex your toes, circle out your ankle. When you're ready, just press straight up through the ball of the foot, spread your toes out. Feel that little bit of activation in the toe mound as you spread the toes. And then can you draw your knee a little closer to your chest as you exhale, stretching out through the back of the leg. Think about letting your right leg get really heavy here and slide down deeper into the floor. Your thigh bone is pulling down into the pelvis. Good. From here, go ahead and bend your knee a lot. Reach your right hand maybe to the outside of the ankle or the outside of the foot, and take your left hand to your left hip. From here, we'll open the leg out to the right just a couple inches, and then re-extend that leg as much as you can. Kick through your heel. So it might not straighten the whole way, and maybe you just come an inch or two over to the side. That's fine, as far as you can go. At the same time, keep pressing your left hand into your left hip, keeping your pelvis firmly planted on the floor. Think about relaxing through your right inner thigh and grow longer through your spine as you press back through the top of your head. Good. One last breath. Exhale, bring that knee back in, bending the knee across your ankle over your left thigh. We're going to keep the left foot on the floor today for figure 4. Take your right hand to your right thigh, just above your knee, and then press that knee open and away from you as you straighten your right arm. You can keep your left hand on your hip or just bring it out to the side, whatever's comfortable. But think about finding that space, making a little bit more space between your right thigh bone and your hip point. So you're opening up the hip joint just a little bit as you press your thigh away from you. Kick out through your heel as you pull your toes back towards your shin. One more breath. Good. Exhale, gently release. Now you're going to draw the right knee all the way in towards your chest. Hold on around your shin or underneath your knee and extend your left leg forward, pressing into your heel. Now you can stay with your leg on the ground or float the leg up off the mat an inch or two. And I want you to think more about lengthening out through the left leg than worrying about how far your right knee can come to your chest. Get long through that left leg. Think about finding that little bit of space between your thigh and your pelvis, like we just did on the right side. Drop your shoulder blades, lengthen out all the way from your heel to the top of your head. And take one more deep breath. And on an exhale, pull the left knee in, plant your feet down. And then you're going to draw that left knee in towards you, hold on behind your calf, and begin to straighten your leg any amount. Point and flex your toes, circle your ankle. Just begin to wake up that leg. When you're ready, press through the ball of the foot, spread your toes apart. And then from here, inhale, finds more length through the back of the leg. And as you exhale, you gently draw your knee in. Again, your leg doesn't have to be fully straight, so as much space as you have through your hamstrings today. But do think about getting heavy through the leg. So feel gravity pressing down on the top of your foot, sending your thigh to the floor and scooping it into the pelvis. Feel your belly button drop down towards your spine as the whole back body gets heavier and pushes down into the ground. Take one more breath, and then put a nice deep bend in your left knee. Reach up for the ankle or the outer edge of your foot. Right hand to your right hip. Begin to open your leg to the left any amount until you feel a lift of your right hip off the floor. Then you've gone a little too far, so keep pressing down. And then extend that leg out, kicking through your heel, straightening the leg any amount. Be careful and notice if you've gone a little too far and you feel that lift through the right side body. Come back, leg more towards center. And just take your time, stretch out through the back of the leg, relax through your inner thigh. Can you drop your left shoulder blade down and make a little bit more room across the side of the neck? Good, last breath. Exhale, draw your leg back to center, bend your knee and cross your ankle over your right thigh. Take your left hand just above your left knee and press the leg away from you. Keep your foot flexed, kicking out through your heel, toes press back towards your knee. And then can you feel that little opening of space between your hip point and your leg bone? Find that little pocket of air. Breathe into it. Keep your collarbones spread wide, but try to soften through your abdominals, just allowing your belly to rise and fall on each breath. On your next exhale, gently release. Pull your left knee in, hold onto your shin or behind your knee, and then stretch your right leg forward, pushing into your heel. Feel that leg get longer, and then maybe float the foot up off the mat. Now can you find that space again, lengthening out through the right leg? Try to send your thigh bone away from your pelvis, and be more interested in that right leg than how close you can get the left leg to your chest. Couple of breaths. Soften and relax through the face. Let your shoulders melt towards the floor. One more inhale. And as you exhale, pull your right knee in, and we'll take a twist. So you can open your arms all the way out to the side. If you don't have enough room, just bend your elbows, take a cactus shape in your arms. And as you exhale, you'll just gently rock your knees over to the left and settle into a twist. So now there's a couple different options to take this twist. The closer your knees are to the chest, the more likely you're gonna feel this through the low spine. So if that's not comfortable for you, press your legs further down away from, so your knees are more away from the chest, and that will lessen the intensity of the twist. If you want more through your abdominals, you could even straighten your legs and kick out through your heels. So take some time, just decide what variation feels best for you right now. Notice if you can rotate around the spine, lift your sternum to the ceiling, and let your right shoulder blade relax towards the floor. You might want to turn your head to gaze out over the right arm, but be mindful of how that feels in the neck. If it's uncomfortable, just keep looking straight up to the sky. On an inhale, gently pull your knees back through center, and exhale, drop the knees to the right. Breathing into this first twist. Notice where you might be gripping. Can you allow your muscles to relax? Softening so that you can deepen your posture, finding your way to rotate a little bit more around the spine by relaxing the muscles of the low back, relaxing the left shoulder, and even relaxing through your face and jaw. Are you tensing or squeezing? Where can you let go? Nice. One more deep breath. On your next inhale, draw your knees back through center. Grab onto your legs, whether that's on your shins or underneath your knees, and just take a little rock side to side. Massage your low back into the earth. And then from here, you can plant your feet, hold onto the backs of the knees, and just gently kind of crawl your way up. We're going to flip all the way over onto our bellies. So take your time, come all the way down. Press through the tops of your feet. And we're going to start with just a couple of gentle Cobra lifts. So pull your hands underneath your shoulders, elbows hug in and back. So you don't want your arms to flop open to the sides. Squeeze the arms in. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Try to press more weight into your legs. And as you inhale, you just peel your chest up, baby cobra. Push down into your knuckles and draw your bottom ribs towards each other to support your low back. So abdominals are working. As you exhale, lower back down. We'll do that 2 more times. Keep the gaze at the tip of the nose. Inhale, just peel your chest up off the floor, elbows back, baby cobra. And exhale, lower. Can you press more weight into the legs? Inhale, last time, lift. Hug the elbows in and back. Exhale, lower down. Good. Slide your hands forward. We're going to come onto the forearms now for Sphinx Pose. So same concept. Elbows are hugging in and pulling back as if you could just slide your whole body forward between your hands. And we're lifting a little higher as you press down into the arms. Press more into the tops of the feet and the legs. And because this is a deeper back bend, can you draw your low belly in and up even more to support through the low back? Make a little bit more space between those vertebrae. Good. Push down into the palms. One more deep breath, and then you can stay here, or if you want even more, press into your palms. See if you can straighten your arms. We'll come into an even deeper back bend, but if you feel any pinching in the low back, just come back to your Sphinx Pose. From here, we're going to move into a shoulder stretch. So if you are still on your forearms, you're going to lift up just a little bit so that you can slide your right arm underneath your left and then come all the way back down onto your forearm. Your left arm will come across the other way. So you're kind of almost tying a knot in your arms. Left arm to the right, right arm to the left. Kind of wiggle your way all the way back down so your belly is on the floor again and your chin will just rest on the back of your left arm. Stretching out across the upper back, across the shoulders, possibly into the base of the neck. And then breathe here. Notice if you've lost that sense of awareness and focus on your breath. Can you send your mind back to tuning in to your internal body awareness? Let go of thoughts as they come up. And try to just stay as calm as you can through the body, through the mind. Get heavier through your legs, relaxing through the back body. On your next inhale, begin to lift your gaze. You're just kind of going to wiggle those arms back towards center to release. Come back to your Sphinx Pose. So again, pull your elbows in and back. Draw your heart forward, and then think about flattening your shoulder blades in towards your chest to get a little bit more spinning and lifting of the upper back. Spinning of the shoulders back, sorry, and then the chest forward. That sounded confusing after I said it. Maybe press into your palms and lift your arms a little higher. Take one deep breath here. And then from here, you're going to slide your left arm underneath the right, come onto the forearm, right arm across. So we're just taking it the opposite way now. Once you've wiggled out as far as you can, go ahead and lower your chin. So now your chin is resting on the back of your right arm. Soften back into the stretch. Just notice the difference between sides. Is one shoulder more resistant than the other to relax? Can you do your best to encourage your muscles to let go? Can you get longer through the back of your neck by dropping your chin a little deeper into your arm? And then breathe. Good, last breath. On an inhale, begin to lift your gaze. Wiggle the arms back towards center. And then from here, we're going to lift up onto hands and knees. Walk your knees in a little bit closer so your knees are under hips and your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. We're just going to circle the arms to release those stretches. So send your left arm forward and then circle it all the way up and back. Inhale, you reach forward. Exhale, rotate the arm back. Just one more time. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, rotate. Good. Plant your hand back down. Take it to the right side. Reach forward as you inhale. Exhale, circle the arm back. Let it feel really nice as you move slowly through that motion. Inhale, reaches forward. Exhale to circle, and then come all the way back down to your tabletop. Let's do a little bit of stretching through our wrists. So from here, flip your right palm over, bring the back of your hand onto your mat. Your fingers are going to face your knees, and just press down into the back of your hand. Feel that stretch through the front of your wrist and maybe up through the back of your forearm. Can you push a little deeper into your fingers? And then gently release, flip your hand back over. Take it to the left. Left hand flips over, press to the back of your hand, back of the fingers. Feel that stretch across your wrist. And gently release. Good. Turn your hands towards each other so your fingers are facing the center of the mat and your arms are rotated in. And then from here, you're just going to rock side to side. So you're pressing through the whole palm into the heel of your hand, and then as you come to the other side, you're pressing through the knuckles, through the fingertips, all the way across and back again. A couple of times, just gently sending the weight from one hand to the other. Can you press more through the knuckles, through the joints of your fingers? Good, and then gently release. Flip your hands back towards the front of the mat. And then last one, we're going to turn our hands all the way back towards the knees. So right hand first, spin your fingertips back towards your knee. And then left hand spins all the way around. So now your wrist creases are facing the front of your mat and your fingers are facing your knees. And this can be a pretty deep stretch. If you can't get your hands all the way turned back around, you might be angling your fingers out slightly. That's fine. Stretch through your forearms and then a little rocking action to shift the weight forward and back. Again, can you press more into your fingers? Try to get some of that pressure out of the wrist crease by digging down into the knuckles. Good, last breath. And let that go. All right, so from here, we're gonna move through a variation of cat and cow. On an inhale, we'll come into a normal cow pose. Drop your belly, lift your tailbone, and pull your heart forward. Think about that Sphinx pose that we did as if you were gonna just draw your whole body between the arms. Exhale, rounding your spine. Find cat. Tuck your toes, hover your knees off the mat, and then lift your hips, press back to downward facing dog. So we're gonna move in and out of tabletop and down dog. As you inhale, send your shoulders forward over your wrists, bring your knees to the floor, and then drop your belly, lift your heart. Cow pose. Good, keeping your toes tucked. Exhale, round your spine, scoop out the abdominals, hover your knees, and press all the way back to downward facing dog. If your legs don't straighten, that's fine. Inhale, come forward. You're just gonna take it to your own range of motion. Find your cow. Exhale, round the spine, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. It might look more like this. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, sending your body forward, lower your knees, drop your belly. Exhale, round your spine, float your legs up and back, downward facing dog. And then we'll hold in our down dog, pedaling out your legs, so bend one knee and then the other like you're on a bicycle. Shifting the weight side to side. You can rotate the pelvis if that feels good for you. Just take some time, move here. Shake your head, yes and no. Send the weight a little bit forward, a little bit back. And then we'll settle into our down dog. So press into your knuckles. Try to lift up out of the wrists. And then think about your tailbone lifting higher towards the ceiling. Once you've pressed back as high as you can, try to lengthen the legs by allowing your heels to draw you down towards the floor. Good. One more deep breath. Downward facing dog. On an inhale, shift it forward, bend your knees, come all the way back to tabletop. And then we're going to slide the right leg forward. So however you need to get there, the right leg will come forward. Back toes are going to come down to the ground, and you might need to adjust this stance depending on your leg length. From here, inhale, reach your arms forward, sink down into your front heel, press more weight into the back foot, and then rise all the way up, Anjaneyasana. Think about shifting your hips back so that you're more straight up and down on the back leg, and about 90-degree bend in the front knee. And then can you press more weight into the top of your left foot? So as if you were trying to slide your foot all the way towards the wall behind you. Good. We're going to grab onto your left wrist, lift up just like we did at the beginning of class. Put more pressure in your right big toe, and as you exhale, side bend up and over. And this might really start to test your balance. Can you squeeze your right hip in towards the center of the mat? And then drop the center of gravity straight down towards the floor. Pull your belly in, and inhale, come back up. Good. Take a second, find your balance, grab onto your right wrist, pull your arm up, and exhale, bend over to the left. Now, when you do that, your right hip is going to want to poke way out to the side. Can you squeeze that butt cheek and wrap your hip in towards center? Got to get long through your side body. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, hinge forward. Plant your left hand underneath your shoulder, and then circle your right arm back and all the way up to the sky. Take a twist. Think about flattening that shoulder blade in towards the front body. As you do that, can you rotate your chest up to the sky? And then notice if you're collapsing into this left shoulder. Lift up and out of that arm. So you're making space across the collarbones, lengthening your neck. One more breath. Exhale, lower your right hand, slide your right leg back. And we'll take a quick child's pose before the second side. So big toes together, knees as wide as you like. Drop your hips back and lengthen out through your spine. Maybe your forehead comes all the way to the floor. Maybe you want to grab onto your elbows and make a little shelf to rest your forehead. And just 2 more breaths. Can you get heavier through the hips? Lengthening out front to back. On an inhale, come back up, finding your tabletop, draw the knees in, and then you'll slide the left foot forward. So setting up to the length of your legs, of your right foot, push down into your left heel as if you're gonna slide that heel straight back in space. Inhale, send your arms forward, rise all the way up. Anjaneyasana. Good, think about shifting your hips back so that your right hip is over your right knee. And then reach up and grab onto your left wrist. Inhale, lengthen. Pull your ribs together. Exhale, side bend. Can you squeeze your left hip in towards the center? Push more weight into the top of the back foot. Inhale, rise. Good. Reach onto the right wrist. Lift up. Exhale. Take it into your side bend. Can you feel that lengthening out of both sides of the body? So not just the right side, but also through the left side. Lift up out of that left hip. Drop your shoulder blades. Breathe here. And exhale, rise. Good. From here, hinge forward. Plant your right hand down. Circle your left arm back and up, finding your twist. Notice if this left hip is popping open. Squeeze the hip in and wrap the thigh bone underneath you. Good. Can you lift up out of the right wrist crease? Press down into your knuckles and lengthen as you rotate your sternum open. One more deep breath. Exhale, come on down. Slide your leg back. And then this time we're going to take puppy pose. So you'll walk your arms forward, keep your sit bones lifting. And you decide how far down you want to come. Maybe onto your forearms. Maybe that's enough. Maybe your chest comes all the way to the floor. But what I want you to think about is not just collapsing, okay? So abs are drawing in and up. Sit bones are lifting and pressing back. So there's this balance. As we go forward, we have to come down, but we're not just dropping to the floor. Can you press more into the tops of your feet? Relax the back of the neck, chin tucks in just a little bit towards your chest to soften the front side of your throat. Stretch out through the shoulders. Think about wrapping your biceps up to the sky. And on an exhale, gently walk your hands back, finding your tabletop. Good. We're going to move back to our downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, lift your knees, and then push your hips back, from here, straighten your legs as much as you want for your downward facing dog. Good. Think about pressing more weight back towards the legs and into the feet. And begin to get light on your hands as you walk your hands back to your feet. We'll find our first forward fold at the back of the mat. You can take a bend in your knees. Let your head hang heavy, grab onto opposite elbows, and just gently sway side to side. Think about pressing your weight forward towards your big toe mounds. That helps us lift the hips a little higher and fold more completely over the legs. Just switch the cross of your arms. Bring the other arm in front and keep swaying if that feels good. If you don't like it, you can just stay through center. Good. Gently release your arms towards the floor, and we're slowly going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. So press the weight back into your heels now. As you straighten the legs, get strong through your quads, lift up through the low belly, all the way up to stand. Roll your shoulders back. Tadasana, mountain pose, spin your palms forward. And just take a breath here now, standing upright. Feel yourself rooting into the floor and lengthening out through the spine. On an inhale, circle your arms, reach to the ceiling. Exhale, hands to your heart, fold forward over your legs. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift just halfway. You can bring your hands to your shins. Press your heart forward. Think about that Sphinx pose. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. And exhale, fold forward again over the legs. Rock the weight forward towards your big toes. Inhale, circle your arms, this time coming up a little quicker. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to your heart. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, reach up. So half Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, folding forward, low belly scooping in and up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, melt down. Inhale, press weight into your heels, circle your arms, rise all the way to stand, palms touch overhead. And exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Drop your palms, spin your arms forward. Think about your inner thighs wrapping back. And then just feel that strength in your legs. We're going to do a couple of standing poses next. So we want you to feel really rooted and strong through your foundation on your mat. Take one more breath in your Tadasana. Exhale, release. And then step to the middle of your mat. Taking your legs wide apart. Open your arms out to the side, and then it's going to be up to you how wide you stand. The wider your legs are apart, the less stable you are going to be. But you do want a fairly wide stance. Take your right hand to your right hip, and then rotate that leg open so your toes are facing the short edge of your mat. Good. Re-extend your arm, angle your left toes in slightly so your heel is going to turn back, and bend your right knee. Warrior two. Good. From here, we're going to close our eyes in a moment. I just want you to really root into what's going on in your body. So sometimes by closing our eyes, you can really tune into those little movements. So go ahead now and close your eyes. Feel your feet pressing into the ground. In your front foot, can you press more into your heel as if you were going to slide that foot back to meet your left leg? And then bend just a little bit deeper into your knee. Good. Then lifting up our awareness a little bit more. Can you open your knee out towards your pinky toe as you slide your right butt cheek underneath you, wrapping your thigh bone? Good. And then moving to our back leg, press deeply into the pinky toe side of your foot. Try to lift your arch up off the floor. And then feel your inner thigh get strong as you zip the leg all the way up to the pelvis. And then the upper body is just kind of floating there on top of your legs. 2 more breaths. If your arms are really dying, you can bend your elbows, take your hands to your hips, but try to keep them lifted. Feel that inhale, expand your ribs and send energy out to help your arms stay floating here in space. And on your next inhale, straighten your right leg, pressing into your front big toe. Position your hips back, so you're taking a little hip pop back. You'll get long through your right side body and then just tip down. Right hand to your right shin, left arm to the sky. Trikonasana, triangle pose. If you need a little bend in that front knee, you'll take it. But see if you can press into the front toe and then extend that leg as long as possible. Rotate your chest up and open. Think about flattening your left shoulder blade into your back. Maybe gazing up to the sky. If that's not comfortable, just straight forward is fine. And you can even press your head back a little bit to lengthen your neck. Get rid of that cell phone neck. Good, one more breath. Firmly press into your feet as you exhale, float your upper body straight back up. Spin your right palm to the sky, and then inhale, reach up and back, reverse triangle. Both legs stay straight. Can you try to drop your ribs in towards your belly? So you're getting longer through the side body, but you're not puffing and back bending. Good. Just one more breath here. Exhale, come all the way back up. Good. Bring your hands to your hips. Rotate your toes to face the long edge of your mat, and we'll go to the second side. So left leg turns open, angling that back foot in. Bend your knee, warrior two, as you stretch your arms out wide. Take a minute to adjust. Notice where you need to maybe scoot that front foot forward or press deeper into the back leg, and then close your eyes. Feel your legs firmly pressing down. Feet are not squeezing, but really digging into the ground, supporting you here. Notice the difference on this side from the first side. Where can you make tiny adjustments in your body? Can you grow taller through your spine? Can you bend a little deeper into your front knee and press that knee open away from your big toe? Good. Do you feel that you're using your back leg? Can you press more into your pinky toe and really scissor that inner thigh up towards your pelvis? Can you soften your shoulders and at the same time actively reach your arms out to either side? Can you even smile while you're standing here doing this? On your next inhale, straighten your leg. Good. Tip your hips first back. So right hip to the right. And then that will help you get long through the left side as you just bring yourself all the way down over your hips. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Maybe a tiny bend in that front knee if you feel like you're locking your joint or your hamstrings are too tight. And then see if you can rotate your chest towards the sky, maybe gazing up. Think about those side bends that we did, pulling the wrist up out of the arm. And then feel like you can do that here. Reach a little higher. Last breath. Firmly pressing your feet into the ground. Exhale, rise to stand. Keep that leg straight, flip your palm to the sky, reach up and back, reverse triangle. And then be careful if those ribs start to puff and you're arching your low back. Can you feel heavy through your right rib cage, pulling in towards the center of the body? And then the length comes from actually the lower side of the body, reaching up and back. Good, one more breath. Exhale, rise. Good, hands back to heart center. Turn your toes in towards each other. We're gonna take a wide-legged forward fold. So make sure that you're comfortable with the distance between your feet. Inhale, lift up nice and tall. Keep your hands on your hips. And as you exhale, begin to hinge forward. Just come halfway with a flat back. So pause when you make it halfway down. Rock your weight forward towards your big toes. So most of us will press weight back into our heels. I want you to think about sending energy forward. You can stay right here. If you want to continue on your journey down towards the floor, just drop a little deeper. Top of the head reaches down, but be careful. You might start to shift your weight back into your heels. Try to send that weight forward, and then maybe you bring your hands down to the ground. Maybe you grab onto your ankles. So you'll set up with your hands however's comfortable for you today. Think about our warrior twos that we just did. Keep both feet evenly pressing into the floor. Get strong through your legs. Send more weight forward. I know it's a little scary, but that gives us a lift of the pelvis to hinge deeper over the front hips. Maybe close your eyes. Can you soften through the backs of your legs? Even as we strengthen the knees up towards the thighs and
hold ourselves here. Relax through the hamstrings. On an inhale, gently begin to come back up. Hands back to your hips, lift with a flat spine. Good, and then bend your knees, step your feet together. We're gonna come all the way back down to the floor. Take your time, lower down. And then from here, you can reach your arms forward, lift up a little taller. Slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. Come all the way back to laying on your mat. Walk your feet in a little bit closer to your heels, and we're going to lift up into a couple of just easy back bends. So snuggle your shoulder blades in towards each other, grab onto the outer edges of your mat maybe. So you're saying the heads of your shoulders down into the floor. And as you inhale, press into your heels, begin to float your hips up off the mat. Just to a comfortable lift for you. Exhale slowly brings you all the way back down. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale lifts you up. Press the floor away. Push down into the tops of the shoulders. Exhale, lower. Good. And last time, inhale, bridge pose. If you're holding the outer edges of the mat, feel like you're going to pull your mat apart. That will help get your shoulders pushing into the floor. We're going to hold a little longer on this one. See if you can continue to breathe easily. So don't hold the breath. So let that breath come and go naturally through your nose. Exhale, slowly lower all the way back down. Release. Go ahead and rock the legs side to side, windshield wipering the knees. And we'll move into a happy baby pose. So pull your knees into your chest. Before we do that, just grab onto the legs. Hold your knees in as close to the body as you can. Relax your shoulders down the back. Maybe a gentle rock side to side, but if it doesn't feel good, just stay where you are. Feel your thighs pulling in. One more deep breath. Good. And then gently let that go. Lift your feet towards the sky. You'll grab onto your big toes or the outer edges of your feet. If that's not available, just grab the outsides of the legs. Pull your knees down. And I want you to think about getting really heavy through the sacrum, so the very lowest part of your back pressing down into the ground. Try to put a little bit more pressure on the feet if you're holding onto the feet. Push your toes towards the wall behind you and lift your heels to the sky. Maybe a gentle rock side to side. And if you'd like to straighten the legs, you could stretch one leg straight at a time, or you could take your legs into a straddle stretch. So you can take a few moments here to just experiment and see what feels good in your body. Take 2 more breaths. Good. If your legs are straight, go ahead and bend them again. And then draw the legs together. So we'll do another hip stretch now, similar to what we did with our shoulders earlier. Take your right leg all the way on top of your left leg. Your knees should be stacked on top of each other, and then pull your knees in a little closer to you so that you can grab onto your shins. And then from here, you're going to slide the feet apart. Just like we did with the arms, you're kind of tying your legs in a knot. And you should feel a nice stretch through your outer hip crease. If it's too easy, you can pull your knees in a little closer, try to stretch the legs further apart and flex your feet. See if you can relax through your shoulders, spread wide across your collarbones. Breathing naturally. And still thinking about letting your low back get heavy, pressing your sacrum down into the floor. Take 1 more breath and gently let that go. Unwind the legs. Maybe you want to take a little bit of movement here before we go to the other side. When you're ready, left leg is going to cross on top of the right. Knees are stacked, feet floating up off the floor. Send your feet out in opposite directions and then pull your knees in close enough that you can grab onto your shins or ankles and kind of shimmy the legs further apart. Taking our stretch on the second side. Possibly flexing your feet if you want to go a little deeper. Maybe pulling your knees in slightly closer to your chest, but be careful not to let the low back lift up off the floor. And then relax through the arms, through the belly, through the back of the neck. Be aware of areas that you're stressing when you don't need to be. And see if you can consciously invite your body to let go of the tension in those spaces. One more deep breath. And exhale gently, let that go. Windshield wiper the knees. We're gonna head soon into our final Shavasana, but before we get there, bring the soles of the feet together again and let your knees fall open. If you need support, you could take your hands underneath the thighs, or again, you could send your legs further away from you, which is gonna make this a little bit of a more accessible position to get into. If you haven't already, go ahead and close your eyes. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, just bringing your awareness back to your internal environment in case your mind has begun to wander. Feeling the rise and fall of your breath. Starting to slow down again. You're welcome to stay here for your final posture. But if you'd like to take a more traditional Shavasana, just draw the knees together. Slide your legs forward all the way onto the floor. Let your toes rock out to either side. And we're going to take just a short awareness through the body, through the back side of the body, to help get into a full state of relaxation. So if you're okay with your hands where they are on the body, you can stay there. Or if that's not comfortable, just drop your arms alongside you with your palms face up. Take any last little movement that you need to feel comfortable here in your final Shavasana. Go back to that space between your eyebrows. Think about letting go of any tension through your face. And then send that awareness towards your temples, relaxing through the sides of the head. Moving the awareness all the way to the back of the skull. Feel the weight of your head press down into the floor. Now, as you do that, do you notice if you can lengthen your neck just a bit more? Softening through the front of the throat. Move the awareness down the back of the neck, all the way down to your shoulders. And feel your shoulder blades get heavy, pressed down towards the ground. And continue to move the awareness to the backs of the arms. Feel your triceps release. Moving down through your elbows to the backs of your forearms. Letting go of any last bits of tension. Moving down to your wrists and all the way to the backs of the hands. And feel this release and kind of settling into the ground as if you were sinking into sand on the beach. leaving an impression of your body there. And then moving the awareness down the length of your spine. Can you feel your back ribs soften, falling away from the lungs and pressing down into the earth? All the way down the low back to your sacrum. And moving down into the muscles of your buttocks, feel your glutes release. And then moving down even further to the points where your hamstrings connect to your pelvis. And beginning to let go through the hamstrings all the way down the backs of the legs. Bringing your awareness to your knees. Can you allow your knee joints to feel softer as you release all the way down through your calves? Finally to your ankles and your heels. Feel your heels press down into the ground as the rest of your foot softens. And now just savoring these last few moments. I'll be quiet for a few minutes as you rest here in Shavasana, your final posture. Keeping your eyes closed, slowly begin to deepen your breath. Inviting awareness back into your physical body. And if you'd like, stay in Shavasana for another 10-15 minutes, as long as you have time for. But if you do need to move on, we'll begin to just gently bring movement back into the body, very slowly. On your next exhale, drop your right ear over towards your right shoulder, rocking the neck. Inhale, chin back to the ceiling. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Take your time as you transition out of Shavasana. Bring your chin back through center. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. So just being mindful of these transitions in our practice and in our lives. Take your time as you move through one thing to another. On an inhale, send your arms back over your head. Get long through your body. Deep exhale, bend your knees, plant your feet firmly on the floor. Press into your heels like bridge pose, lift your hips just a bit and scoot your hips over to the left so you can drop your knees to the right. Come to rock over onto the right side of your body, bring your left hand in front of your chest. And pause for a moment. Taking our time as we lift our body all the way back up vertically. When you're ready, press down into your hands. Begin to lift yourself back up, coming to find a comfortable seat the way we started. So whatever's comfortable for you. Rooting down into your sit bones, can you lift a little taller, feel a little longer through your spine? Roll your shoulders down your back. On an inhale, bring your palms together at heart center. And exhale, bow your chin to your chest, pausing for a moment of gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you have a wonderful evening, feeling super relaxed. Namaste.